number 14, picking up right where we left off on the other video, number 14. Once again, when you have a variable expression like a minus c squared plus b, and they ask you to evaluate, that means plug it in.
Isn't it 12?
So what we want to do is first replace our variables with parentheses. So I'm going to rewrite this whole thing, but instead of a, c, and b, I'm going to put parentheses. So there are my parentheses, and now I'm going to plug in the values. The a value is 6, so I'm going to plug in a 6 right there. The b value is 2, so I'm going to put a 2 right here where the b is at. And the c value is 4. I want to put a 4 right there where the c is at. So it's very important that we use parentheses so we don't make mistakes. And now after that, we're going to be using the correct order of operations. Are there parentheses? Well, yeah, there's parentheses, but there's nothing to do inside the parentheses. So we move on to exponents. And we do have exponents. We have 4 squared. Now that's just 4 squared. What's 4 times 4?
16.
16. So I'm going to write down 16 and I'm going to bring down the rest. All right? Now, I don't really even need parentheses around this 6. I'm just going to bring down the 6. I'm going to bring down the minus. I don't even need parentheses around this 2 either. I'm just going to bring down plus 2. And now we really do have 2 operations left, subtraction, then addition. So if I did go from left to right, 6 minus 16, so I have $6, I owe somebody $16, I want to owe them $10. And then plus 2, bring down the plus 2, I owe somebody $10, I have $2, I can't even pay them off, I'm still going to owe them $8. So negative 8 is your final answer for number 14. Let's move on to, whoa. Let's move on to number 15. Okay, so on number 15, I'm also going to rewrite everything with parentheses instead of the variables. There it is. And then we're going to be plugging in the a value of 6. A value of 6 right in there. The b value of 2. B value of 2 right in there. And the c value of 4 right in there. Okay, so going through the order of operations, once again, we're going to multiply, add, multiply, subtract, or exponents. What do we do first? Exponents. In case you forgot, exponents is before multiplying or adding and subtracting. So let's do exponents. And doing the exponents, we get 4 squared again, 16. And I'm going to rewrite the rest. And now after doing exponents, we do have multiplication. And then after multiplication, we do addition and subtraction. So we have multiplication here. We also have multiplication right here on the 2 times 2. So let's do both multiplications. 4 times 6 is 24. Bring down the plus sign. Might as well do 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then we bring down the minus and the 16. So we've done both multiplications. Now the only thing left to do is addition and subtraction. And we do go from left to right. So 24 plus 4 is 28. And 28 minus 16 will give us our final answer, 12. So that's it for the front side. Let's flip over our paper and continue with the back side, which is simplifying using distributive property and combining like terms. Okay, so number 16 is distributing a minus sign. So you're going to take that, you're going to take that minus sign and distribute it to the x. That's going to give you a negative x. Distribute it to the negative 9, and that'll give you a positive 9. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Number 17, distributing the negative 7. Negative 7 times negative x, that's going to be a positive 7x. Negative 7 times positive 1, that's going to be a negative 7. Number 18, we're going to distribute that 12. The 12, we're going to distribute it to the x. It's going to be 12 times x, that's 12x. 12 times negative 1 is negative 12, and that's our final answer for number 18. So the first 3 on the back side was distributive property. The next couple are combining like terms. I recommend that you use different symbols around the terms that you're going to be combining and include the sign that's in front. For example, let's combine the x's. There's a 9x right here. I'm going to include the plus sign in front because that tells me that I have $9 if I'm thinking about money. I'm going to include the minus in front of the 17x. That tells me that I owe $17. So if I have 9 and I owe 17, I'm not even able to pay them off. I'm still going to owe them $8. In this case, 8x's. And now for the numbers, I want to do a squiggly underline on the -7, squiggly underline under the 9. Again, -7 plus 9, you owe 7, you have 9. You're going to have 2 left over. So there's your answer, -8x plus 2 for number 19. Number 20, ladies and gentlemen. Number 20. I want to combine like terms. Are there any terms alike? No, right? If you look at the a squared, there is no other a squared. That's a regular a. You can't combine it. This is a b squared. You can't combine it with the a squared. There is no other a. There is no other b squared. So there is nothing to do. You could write as an answer that it's simplified, because it's already simplified. Or you could just rewrite it. 5a squared plus 3a plus 4b squared. So on number 21, we're combining like terms. And of course, combining like terms, we're talking about x squares with x squares, x's with x's, numbers with numbers. So again, I encourage you to please circle whatever you're going to combine and include the sign that's in front. So that 8x squared, that's a positive 8x squared. I want to combine it with this negative 15x squared. So if I think about that, positive 8 and negative 15, that's like having $8, owing $15. I'm still going to owe, I can't finish paying them off, 7x squared. I'm still going to owe. Let me make my pen a little thicker here. That's kind of ugly, I apologize. Anyway, that's our first term. Let's move on to x's now. Negative 3x and positive 2x. That's like owing somebody $3 and having $2. You can't even pay them off. You're still going to owe them. You're still going to owe them one of those dollars, but in this case, one of those x's. And what's left over? The only thing left over is a positive 7. So let's go ahead and bring that down, plus 7. And ladies and gentlemen, that's your answer right there for number 21. Some of us might be thinking, wait a minute, can't I combine this negative 7x squared with the 1x? You cannot. Why not? Because this is x squared, this is an x. You cannot combine them. You cannot combine them. Let's move on to number 22. Again, just reviewing PEMDAS, you always start with parentheses, but inside the parentheses it says x take away 9. You can't do that. If it said x take away 9x, then yeah, you could do that, but you can't subtract or add letters and numbers. So you can't do parentheses. There are no exponents. Is there multiplication or division? Yes. Where's the multiplication at? It's right here, 3 times x minus 9. So there's multiplication right there. So that's what you're going to be doing, the multiplication. You're going to be doing multiplication before the adding that you see right here. So don't add 2 plus 3 and write down 5. That's wrong. You need to multiply first before adding. So when I say multiply first before adding, you're going to be doing the distribution of the multiplication. This positive 3, I'm going to multiply it by x. That's going to give me a positive 3x. And then positive 3 times, I want to call this a negative 9. Positive 3 times a negative 9, that's going to be a negative 27. And that's why I write it as a minus 27. Now, what about this 2 that's out in the front? I'm just going to bring it down. So there's the 2 out in the front. So now I have 3 terms. I have 2 plus 3x minus 27. Let's take a look at the numbers. I'm going to combine the positive 2 with the negative 27. That's like me having $2 and owing somebody $27. I'm going to owe still a lot of money. How much do I owe after I give them my $2? Negative 25. So I'm going to bring it down as negative 25. Now the 3x, I'm not going to be able to combine it with anything. I'm going to write it out in the front just to be a little more organized. So this is going to be a positive 3x minus 25. That's my final answer. Now, if you would have written it backwards, if you would have written a negative 25 plus 3x, I guess I could give you the credit for that. But in the future, I always want your variable term first and your number without a variable second. So it's a good idea to start practicing that. Write your variable term first and your number second. Let's move on to number 23. So bottom line, on this whole backside, we are either distributing or combining like terms. We know distributive property is multiplication. We know combining like terms is adding and subtracting. So what do we do first? Do we distribute or do we combine like terms? Help me out, guys. What do we do first? Esteban. What do we do first? Anybody? Okay, so, but there's nothing to do inside parentheses, right? It's a 4x minus 3. You can't even subtract 4x minus 3. Multiply. So we're going to always distribute before combining. So let me actually show that I'm going to distribute this negative 2. Everybody should circle it, include the sign that's in front, and draw some arrows. Negative 2 times positive 4x. A negative times a positive is a negative. So negative 2 times positive 4x is negative 8x. Negative 2 times negative 3. If I call this a negative 3, negative 2 times negative 3? Positive 6. Thank you, positive 6. And what about the rest? Let's bring down the rest. The 12 comes down and the minus 4x comes down. So now we have 4 terms. And let's combine the terms that are alike. In other words, x's with x's and numbers with numbers. So I have a negative 8x. I have a negative 4x. If I combine those, remember, what is combination? What is combining? It's adding and subtracting. So it's like if I owe $8 and I owe $4 more, I owe how much? I owe 12 of those dollars, but in this case, 12 x's. And what about the rest? We have a positive 12, the number that's positive 12, and a number that's positive 6. So thinking of money, 12 plus 6, you have 12, you have 6. How much do you have? 18. You have, so you put plus 18 altogether. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your final answer for number 23. Moving on. 24. There's 2 distributions that we need to do. We need to distribute the multiplication of 7. So what is 7 times 6? 42. Thank you for answering. Okay. And then 7 times x? 7x. And that would be positive 7x. Okay. Why? Because a positive 7 times a positive x is going to be positive 7x. And now let's distribute the minus 5 over here. Let me do this in a different color. Distribute minus 5. Minus 5 times x. What's that? Negative 5x. And how about negative 5 times positive 3? Negative 15. So now we have 4 terms, and let's combine the ones that are alike. We're going to combine the x's with the x's. So let me actually circle the 7x. Whoops, that's ugly. 7x with minus 5x. So what's 7x minus 5x? Or you could think of money. You have 7, you owe 5. You have 2 x's left over, right? And it's positive. And how about 42 take away 15? 27. And do you have 27 or do you owe 27? You have, so it's positive 27. So let's move on to 25. 25 is fun. It's the kind of question you want to take to a party on a Saturday night. Turn on the lights, tell everybody to gather around, show them how to distribute and combine like terms. Instant popularity. Okay, so let's actually distribute 6 times 5 and 6 times negative 1, and we're going to get 30x minus 6. I'm going to be pausing and doing the work quickly because I'm running out of time. Let's now distribute the negative 3 to both of those guys, and what do we get? Negative 3x plus 6. And what about the negative 7x? I'm just going to rewrite that because there's nothing to do with that negative 7x. Let me go back and distribute the positive 2 that's out here into both terms, and what do we get? And you get the negative 20x minus 4. Let me move things over a little. And we also have a plus 5 at the very end, so let's just bring that down. So now we have this ginormous addition and subtraction problem. So let's start combining like terms. Let me show you. I'm going to combine the 30x. I'm going to combine it with the negative 3x. 30 take away 3 is 27. So I have 27 x's. And if I take away another 7, I have 20 x's. And if I take away 20 x's, I'm going to have nothing, 0 x's. It's going to just, they all cancel out. And if we look at the numbers, you have negative 6 with the positive 6. That's 0, cancels out also. And then negative 4 plus 5, that's just 1. So your final answer is 1.